everyone. My name is Leah something. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. I am a commentary creator who makes videos on social media influencers and the drama they get into. In my commentary, you will get the facts and my perspective, and you will have the opportunity to share your thoughts. Sometimes I become high energy with some of the topics we cover, so you might see me fight out of a rabbit hole that we dive into to give an ounce of reality to people I'm covering. Please note, everything in this video is alleged. Thank you for watching. Let's get into today's rabbit hole. All right. So a lot has come out about Ava Kris Tyson within the last few weeks, and there's been a big, huge stir amongst the commentary community about Ava Kris Tyson. So we're gonna do a dive into Ava Kris Tyson and what they're facing right now in the backlash and how it's spread into other creators. So this all started because there was a back and forth between Ava Kris Tyson and Mercs. And this started like a culture war. Now, because this started a culture war between the two, this is how people were able to find out about Ava Kris Tyson. So we're going to start with this Reddit thread about the Ava Kris Tyson situation. Thank you, r/YouTube drama, for listing this Reddit, specifically Dependent Law 7, which is a mod of the subreddit. So let's get started. The Reddit reads, "Hey guys, it's time for an updated mega thread due to all the updates regarding this situation. We ask that you please share any of the Discord leads here as to not clog up the feed. Link to prior mega thread." And then we'll go over that thread in a second. "To summarize the drama as best as I can, around a month ago, Ava got into some heat with Jake the Viking and Mercs. So this all started with this original tweet where it's Mercs tweeting about the Kris Tyson situation. I have no idea why he just wanted to say this, but he felt the need to say this about Ava Kris Tyson. Honestly, I don't really agree with this tweet, but just to shed light on the background and how things started, it's important that we read it. So Mercs tweeted on June 22nd, 2024, "You should be ashamed of yourself, leaving behind your wife and child to play pretend. One day you will wake up and realize what you have done." So that this is clearly talking about Ava Kris Tyson. It's kind of like a passive aggressive comment. Again, I don't like it. My personal opinion is you can be trans and a great parent at the same time. You know, it doesn't matter if Ava Kris Tyson transitioned. What happens within their family life is between them and their family. It's not right that people just automatically assume because Ava Kris Tyson transitioned that she is abandoning her child. So again, I don't like this tweet. I don't agree with it. But so then after that tweet that occurred, Ava Kris Tyson's ex-wife Katie responded, and this post has been since deleted. But let's go ahead and read. So Katie says, "Mine and Tucker's life are both better than ever. Tucker's life is kept privately as much as it can be, solely because of people like you who try and make a headline topic with a 4-year-old's life blasted in a headline. There are plenty of other things in this world to talk about other than a 4-year-old who will one day see all of this. Imagine having to get introduced to the internet and having all your life as a headline topics. All of this or all of his life bashed all over the internet. His life is kept private as much as possible, and not so people like you can create a headline of a life in a situation that you know nothing about. Again, I agree with that. So next time, please choose a different headline other than an innocent 4-year-old's life. Our lives are the best. Are Our lives are the best they've ever been, and Tucker is loved and cared for by both parents in both homes and thriving. I don't know who Nick is. I don't care who he is. But as a parent himself, is this the example we want to set for our children? When we don't agree with someone, we bash them, their families, drag others children through the trenches by spreading false information about their lives. Be better, set better examples. And then Ava Kris Tyson responded and said, Katie doesn't like being on the internet, but it's gotten to the point where people are using my 4-year-old child as clickbait. So we sat down and discussed how we wanted to address this. I mean, seriously, I just scratched my kid's back for an hour and I have responded to this. Anyways, then Ava Kris Tyson continues. Anyways, trans people can be great parents. Them and their ex-partners can have cordial and healthy co-parenting relationships, and anyone who throws a child into the internet drama does give a fuck about saving the kids. So then it continues after that. And Dramaler tweets this. Ava Kris Tyson and Katie, baby mama, have put out statements in response to Nick Mercs and Jake the Viking. Summary: Katie is really upset with how her son her and her son are being talked about by other creators. Mentions they try to live private lives. Importantly, says both. And then below that, this is what caused huge amounts of backlash from the Nick Mercs fandom. And this is how they started looking into Ava Kris Tyson and their interactions on the internet. So Ava Kris Tyson tweets, never asked Jake how he protected his kid or his family from his brother-in-law. So it's pretty horrible that someone would make that implication about somebody else. I personally wouldn't be making that implication. But, you know, I guess an eye for an eye kind of thing. So maybe Ava felt the need to push back on Nick Mercs, especially if they're making comments about their life and how they raise their child and everything. So maybe they felt the need. But then this caused everyone to start looking into Ava Kris Tyson, and it caused a ton of drama. Okay, so then the Reddit thread continues. Around the same time, videos had been released addressing her connections to Shadman. And we've all known that Ava, I mean, in my audience, we've known that Ava Kris Tyson has had connections to Shadman. We faced a few of the ACC commentary creators that were in the FCK server praising Shadman. We'll go more into Shadman specifically in a second. But Toasty Vanilla is for sure 100% a supporter of Shadman. So then let's start with here. A summary of Ava's past inappropriate behavior on social media. And this is also posted on the r/YouTube drama subreddit, and it was posted by Aaron. When discussing the recent allegations surrounding Ava Kris Tyson, people often seem to not know what exactly they are talking about as such. On one end, there are people who think she merely joked about Shadman a few times and nothing more, while other people think she outright commissioned child porn from him. Because of that, I want to collect Ava's Twitter and Reddit posts that people consider incriminating. In my personal opinion, what I have found regarding purely her social media behavior, it doesn't seem that Ava has done anything criminal, but it does seem to have a long history of interest in lolicon art. Let's start with let's start with Shadman himself. Ava, on multiple occasions, has referenced Shadman specifically in the context of his lolly art. Here's Ava responding to Shadman in a post about Ruffatilia, an anime character whose gimmick is that she can age and de-age rapidly. In this instance, she has a body of a 10-year-old. So then this is the tweet from Shadman. And Shadman is saying, what is this and why do people keep sending me this? Then Chris tweets, please, Shad, please. I mean, like, this is just pretty gross as well. Like, this tells me that Chris knew what Shadman was doing and was completely okay with what Shadman does, or the kind of art that Shadman posted. Here's Ava referencing eat Tide Pods with spaghetti in relation to Shadman. Why is this matters? Because Shadman made a meme porn comic in which clearly underage boy performs analingus on his mother, nasty, after she makes him eat Tide Pods with spaghetti. What am I even typing right now? I'm not posting the comic here for obvious reasons, but you can easily find it. So then this was in response to Shadman. And Chris says, peeps, my favorite snack in the spaghetti. So it's in reference to that specific comic. The fact that Ava just thinks it's appropriate to even respond like this is just absolutely insanity to me. A person that that makes even a meme of like something like this, where an underage boy performs analingus on his mother after she makes him eat Tide Pods with spaghetti. That meme is just inappropriate. I don't even want to look it up on the internet, but the fact that Ava thought it was okay to like joke like that is just, it's insane. It's crazy. If somebody in my friend group drew that kind of meme, I would not be okay with it, and they would immediately get the disavowal and be blocked. It's crazy. So we already went through that. Here's Ava's commenting on a post by another porn artist, J Lullaby, in which they talk about Caillou, a 4-year-old cartoon character. Once again, Shadman is mentioned. Both Shadman and J Lullaby have drawn lolly. So it should be noted that Ava's interest in this sort of art is not only limited to joking about Shadman. So then there was this, and J Lullaby writes, remember this when growing up? Me too. Check it out. And it's Caillou gets a timeout, and it's clearly an inappropriate. It's the implication of the book cover, right? And Chris isn't helping out. Ava isn't helping out at all either, where Ava says, help, I need an adult. Then there's this one. Here's Ava posting about a lolly poster that she bought from Shadman. Note that there's no evidence that she commissioned the art, only that she purchased the poster. So before we get into this specific poster, the poster in general is just absolutely disgusting. You can clearly tell the person is a younger person. I've been seeing people out there try and defend whether this is lolly or not. It is a clear indication that it's lolly. Tipster himself likes to downplay this poster specifically. And yeah, whether it's commissioned or not, the fact that Ava owned it is just like, that's just a big no to me. That's like that tells me or that gives me the cause to believe. I don't care whether you commission the art. The fact that you are comfortable enough with even owning a poster like that is unhinged. You are predatory. And I seriously question your judgment. Seriously. So, this is Ava Kris Tyson tweeting. This is coming from the guy who owns a Shad base drawing and has it as a centerpiece in his living room. So, Tipster, long time ago, Tipster would lie about this specific tweet because Tipster felt the need to defend Ava Kris Tyson. And the reason why Tipster feels the need to defend Ava Kris Tyson is not because he believes in trans rights or he believes in the LGBTQ plus community and he wants to advocate for them. It's based on the fact that he is a grifter and he just likes to blindly defend people no matter what, even if it's like questionable art. He's done it in the past. I'm very confident in saying this in the past, or saying this about Tipster because he has done it in the past. So Tipster has specifically said, oh, well, they don't actually have the poster, and they actually do. And here is Ava saying that they do. Really gross. Don't like it. And and again, Tipster likes to downplay it and say, oh, you know, that was a joke. That's a joke. That's an edgy joke. Ava Kris Tyson didn't actually own that poster, and they actually did. Here's Ava commenting on the NSFW comment of Mabel and Diaper Pines from Gravity Fails, both 12, by yet another porn artist, Gara Bots. So Gara Bots tweets, and another one from 2014, Bite the Dust. On the bright side, DA is cleaning my gallery. Then Ava Kris Tyson tweets, they're twins, so at that point it's just masturbation, right? So it's absolutely disgusting. The fact that Ava Kris Tyson even feels like it's appropriate to make that kind of reference, it's just insane. It's like, why are you tweeting this? It's degeneracy at its finest. Yeah, this is just gross. It's incest as well, and clearly Ava supports it. So here, then the Reddit post continues, and here are a few times Ava talked about Lolly on Twitter, unrelated to Shadman or any other artist. Ava Kris Tyson says, that bitch looked good for a 4-year-old. Then somebody says, this ratio looks better, though. So this is just nasty. It's like, why? Why are you even tweeting this? Why do you even think it's appropriate? This is what makes me think Ava Kris Tyson is predatory. And I have no problem with saying that. It's in my opinion that they are predatory. So Ava Kris Tyson says, nothing gets my knob a crankling or a knob a cranking like some lolly. Then the Reddit continues, besides just being active on Twitter, Ava also has a Reddit account called TysonBoy34. It has been deleted, but there are archives of their posts like this on site. So this is the Reddit code specifically to show that it's organic. There's some debate on whether TysonBoy34 and Ava are the same person, but by judging the comments and the posts made by the account, it is very unlikely that they are two different people. TysonBoy34 is the name of Ava's old YouTube channel, and it seems to be the same. It seems to be the name she used for her other social media accounts. TysonBoy34 mentions that they live in North Carolina multiple times. They seem to be knowledgeable on NC age of consent laws. Ava is also from North Carolina. Tyson Boy says they attended a private Christian school. Ava and Jimmy both attended Greenville Christian Academy in a private school in North Carolina. Tyson Boy also links to a YouTube video made by their friend. Said video was uploaded by Mr. Beast's channel. Note, at the time, Mr. Beast wasn't very popular. Just also frequently talk about Mr. Beast. Tyson Boy 34 also made a post featuring their dog named Chief, a dog that is very similar to Ava's dog, also named Chief. There are too many similarities for these two to be completely unrelated. There's a lot to unpack with this account. Many edgy / racist / homophobic jokes, Ava's questionable political views, a lot of porn, or Mr. Beast's business practices as early as 2018. But the focus of this post is on Ava's interest in lolly porn, so let's talk about that. Here, once again, we can see Ava's interest in lolly. And it's 4chan, so it's Tyson Boy, or it's on 4chan. Then Tyson Boy says, why the fuck would you use your VR headset for anything other than 3D lolly gang porn? Then somebody else says it was just about to get to that part. It just ran out of battery. Didn't you read the story? Then it continues. So then the Reddit post continues. Here's Ava talking about Shadman, both on Reddit and Twitter, in a context of the new Incredibles movie, specifically about Violet Parr, a 14-year-old character. So this is Ava's Reddit that says Shadman is going to love this, and it's Pixar's Incredible 2's trailer. Then there's also this one where it's the Incredible 2's daughter specifically, and Ava Kris Tyson says low key she cute. So clearly he thinks Pixar character of a 14-year-old is cute. It's absolutely insane. And this is just crazy. Like, never in my life have I ever watched a Pixar film. And I think like the 14-year-old character is cute in any sort of way. Like, what is wrong with you? These are all the posts that I could find that relate to Ava Kris Tyson. Her interest in lolly, of course. Ava nukes her social media, so there may or may not be more. I stated my opinion on the topic at the beginning, and I hope this post will allow people to get a clearer picture of the situation. So Ava, it's like a clear indication that Ava supports Shadman Shadman and supports Shadbase clearly, regardless of the kind of art um, that he created. There is one particular art that has really bothered the commentary community, and myself included. It's really bothersome that he's able to draw this. He drew Keemstar's daughter, who was underage at the time, in a very questionable sexual scenario with the former President Trump. And it's absolutely insane that Shadbase drew Keemstar's daughter like this. Now, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, no, that's not the picture that was drawn. The picture that was drawn was Keemstar's daughter getting popcorn on their face." And it's like, no, that picture also exists, but the egregious account of the drawings of Keemstar's daughter is specifically the one with Keemstar's daughter and Donald Trump. And it's absolutely disgusting. I don't understand why Ava Kris Tyson thought it was okay to completely support Shadman, even knowing the existence of that picture. Yeah, it's just crazy. So then the original Reddit post continues. An additional video came out with the claims that Ava groomed a minor named Lava, who is present in Discord server with her. This video received some backlash due to highly unethical way of information that was required and released. That being said, the allegations were taken seriously by much of the community, and Lava made this statement denying being a victim of Ava's. So before we get into the video, I want to outline that the person that created this video lied specifically to Lava. They pulled Lava into a conversation under false pretenses and said, "Hey, we want to interview you for an editor spot. Would you be willing to have a conversation with us?" And Lava ended up having a conversation with them, and clearly the conversation took a different tone. It was admitted in ChudLogic's live stream by this person named Prism, that they specifically lied to the victim and to push out the story. So they prioritized their own story over what happened with the victim and released the story without their permission. Now, this is a big no-no in my book. I'm not okay with people just running over victims with their stories and trying to trick them into interviews and trying to get them trying to trick them into admitting something that they don't want to admit. Victims go through a lot of trauma. I get that Lava is saying that they weren't a victim of Ava's, but I don't want to sit here and say, Prism, good job for getting this person under false pretenses and getting them to admit to something that they didn't want to admit. This Prism person is super, super, super dramatic, very weak-minded. I don't like what they did at all. They completely invalidate people. They can't take criticism lightly. They received a ton of backlash, and I still think they should deserve backlash over the video that they made. So let's go over. So after ChudLogic's stream, everybody started to ridicule Prism for the way that they handled things. And one of the greatest people to criticize Prism is Nicholas Diorio. And Nick tweets, "So the guy who made the Kris Tyson messaged minors video faked a job interview to ambush the alleged victim and confront them. When questioned, he started comparing himself to Project Veritas. Apparently, EDP 445 was contacted prior to upload as well. Then Nick continues. Chris Chan was connected as well. What the fuck is going on? He's acting like his hand was forced to do this by some large entity, and it's the voices in his head. Then Nick says, after saying that they were forced to rush their Kris Tyson expose video and using that to excuse the poor quality, the dude admitted the rush was to beat out Mike Klum. So again, this Prism guy absolutely deserves criticism on his end. To me, he's like Lio Convoy. He's the kind of guy that you do not want handling any kind of expose or any kind of case whatsoever when it comes to like predatory behavior on the internet whatsoever, because they don't know how to handle situations like these, and they prefer to push out their content rather than prioritize the victims. You know, when it comes to a lot of predator hunting on the internet, you have to very much take into consideration what the victims are feeling and what they are comfortable with you saying and what they're not comfortable with you saying. And the fact that you prioritize content over what the victim wants is just absolutely disgusting, yet alone also lying to them. And then even admitting, like Nick says right here, he rushed the video to beat Mike Klum. And it's like, okay, now we know where your priorities are. You only care about getting clout from this whole situation. You actually don't care about actually calling out Ava on her disgusting behavior, and having Ava accountable, or holding Ava accountable for the way that they acted towards minors on the internet. And it's laughable that this Prism guy thought he could get away with it. He said on Chud Logic's stream that in 2 weeks he would come out with more evidence. It'll be interesting to see what his response is in 2 weeks. So far, he's gone radio silent. He hasn't really been speaking about this situation. So I'll keep you guys updated. So then the Reddit post continues. Due to the highly unethical way the information was required and released. That being said, the allegations were taken seriously by much of the community, and Lava made a statement denying being a victim of Ava's. Now let's look at this statement. So this is Lava below. And Lava says, these videos are massive lies and twisting the truth. Ava never did anything wrong and just made a few edgy jokes. I was never exploited or taken advantage of. Can you do me a favor and comment on these videos and tell them to stop spreading lies? This situation takes away from children who are actively being exploited every day online. I'm not a victim of anything being claimed in these videos or at all. And then Lava shows a Cheeto's video and Sensitive Society's video. Now, Cheeto and Sensitive Society haven't really watched their videos. I don't think they're being transphobic at all. These normally with creators that are transphobic, I don't normally get Sensitive Society or Cheeto being like from the transphobic group. So I was surprised to see this. You know, sometimes Cheeto is definitely edgy and makes inappropriate jokes or very offensive jokes. But I seriously put X to doubt if he's actually transphobic. Sensitive Society, I've watched some of his content and he's not in the very least transphobic. He's like far from it. So I was confused as to why Lava was painting them in a transphobic light. So then after that, the Reddit post continues. With all the commotion regarding this, Ava would make a series of statements. And this is her initial statement. So Ava tweets on July 23rd, 2024, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I want to add, I've never groomed anyone. The person who brought up in these accusations at Lava GS has vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt with my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. So lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. So the fact that I'm going to pause right there. The fact that Ava Kris Tyson is taking it to the extent of even lying on this level is absolutely insanity to me. You know, they were definitely predatory in Discord, and we're gonna go further into that. They were definitely, at the very least, Ava Kris Tyson was neglectful with their interactions with minors on the internet, and at the very worst, they were a predator. So the fact that they're saying, "Oh, it was just bad, edgy jokes," no, it's beyond that. It's not just chopping it up or chalking it up to just being bad, edgy jokes. That's far from reality here. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which I have stepped away. And then we'll get to that the Mr. Beast interaction in a second. And here is her follow-up. So we'll continue to follow up. Oh, we've already read the follow-up, so never mind. Where she announces that she will be leaving the Mr. Beast team. Now, Mr. Beast has said something different. Mr. Beast also made a statement announcing her departure and making note of a third-party investigation. So let's look at Mr. Beast's statements. Mr. Beast tweets, over the last few days, I've become aware of serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure that I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. So it's definitely a different narrative that is being painted here than what Ava is saying. Mr. Beast is saying, no, we let her go. We've terminated any association with her. She's not with the company anymore, and we're also doing a third-party investigation. So it's interesting that Ava is saying, oh, this was a mutual agreement, when Mr. Beast is saying, no, this wasn't mutual. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. So what this reads to me is like standard procedure right here that a Fortune 500 company must take whenever there's an employee that is being irresponsible or inappropriate with anybody. And the investigation the reason why I think Mr. Beast is even doing the investigation is to see if there was inappropriate behavior that occurred on the Mr. Beast uh, office site or work site, or if Ava ever acted inappropriately or irresponsibly with company assets, like company computers, maybe a company phone, possibly like I don't know, maybe they drove somewhere inappropriately with a company car. That's theory crafting. I don't think that actually happened. But those kind of things. It's just an example of why you would want to do um, a investigation into this to see if specifically something happened on company grounds or with company devices. I think it's also helping Mr. Beast prevent any kind of legal action. I don't think anybody would be able to sue Ava Kris Tyson or Mr. Beast, but just in case, if a scenario should rise to that occasion where somebody would be able to sue them, let's say something even worse happened than what we know, then it would be important for Mr. Beast to know about it and take action based on the investigation or the formal investigation that's happening within his company. So I say good on Mr. Beast for taking action. It's interesting how Ava is saying, "Oh, well, we mutually parted ways," when in fact Mr. Beast is saying, "No, they were terminated." More allegations came out in the meantime, notably from Nathan W., who began leaking messages from the Discord server. Him and Lava were part of moderating, as Lava contested some of Nathan's claims. So let's look at this one. Another victim has come forward about Ava Kris Tyson.
Beast used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with Lava GS at the time, who is the main victim of Kris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for Mr. Beast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join Mr. Beast Gaming himself, Lava. He's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me. Me and him were both initially involved in running Kris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me. Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream. As well as other technical back-end things that he needed help with. This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway and Kris invited him after that, and Kris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's server for the 10 million subscriber MrBeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Kris and playing video games with him for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up sexual topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hentai videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of minors. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy, as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable at being called.
So it cuts off there. I will say it's interesting just showing Nathan showing this little clip right here of Nathan actually calling and getting a hold of Chris. I would wonder if at this time that he called Chris or Ava that if he was 15, because what is a 15-year-old doing calling you about your live stream? You know, I myself am a YouTuber, and a very small one, by the way. I've done live streams. Never in my life have I ever even thought about having like a 15-year-old or minors even help me try and run this channel. So it's absolutely weird and a little bit. I'm a little bit curious as to why Ava thought it was even appropriate to have 15-year-olds as mods or even running their channel, yet alone calling them on stream to also say, hey, you leaked your address on the stream and please end the stream, right? And it's very interesting. It's very stupid. I don't understand why Ava would think that's appropriate. Yeah, it's just crazy. So Nathan continues.
I was definitely uncomfortable at being called daddy by a 20-year-old. And even just thinking about it now, it's just uncomfortable. This server.
Yeah, the daddy thing is definitely weird. You know, I'm 35 and I have a relationship like with boyfriend, right? I've never, not once ever called him daddy. And even before we both started dating, I was like, I've told him, I'm not going to call you daddy. And he's like, great, because I'm not that kind of person. So it's like, yeah, okay, great. That's awesome. Glad we have that in common. I don't understand why people do that. Whatever. I'm not here to kink shame, but definitely calling minors daddy or mommy is just, it's disgusting. It's inappropriate. I don't even know why you would think it's okay to do.
Later went public and became his official Discord server, but before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the N-words he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to minors. This story is so much bigger and runs so much deeper than any of you really realize, so if you want to hear more and you want a part 2, let me know. I was definitely
It's absolutely, it's crazy if that is true. And there were leaks that did come out from the Discord that were released yesterday, and we'll go over it in a second. It's insane that Chris is even having minors moderate a Discord for him and the channel that they were trying to make. So then let's see what Lava has to say. So for whatever reason, it links the incorrect part. But whatever, we'll just continue. So this is from Beckett. Beckett says the Chris server drop makes for interesting reading. At least we know what drove Chandler to find God, LMAO. So this is one chat where it's Ally Pritch that says lock the porn thread too. Brooke the mom says there would need to be lots of change before Beast's server goes public. Then Nathan says, what porn thread? Then Brooke says, in my honest opinion. Then Shade says, NSFW, we did that. Then Nathan says, how many fucking times do I have to say it's locked? LMAO. Then there's another chat from Lava where it says, situation has been handled correctly. Never call my staff members abusers. I know who I put in the position. And Chandler says, it's because Shallow, the app on my Mac, but the Discord app won't update. And then this is Lava posting something inappropriate. Then Beckett continues, while actions are being taken, the server has an age limit of 13 with the mod team, including minors. There was actually a few weird interactions occurring. So there's this one. Atlas, R2, Daddy's little pet, 14-year-old boy, my guy. Have you ever tried pussy yet? Why? Why are you saying this? I just feel so gross even just reading that. So Halsey writes, this kid is one of my old MC friends or fans friend, but like I've had enough. He needs to chill the fuck out. LTS Themo says, yeah, yikes. I've reported him. Halsey says, he needs to stop. I'm about to ban him from my server, actually. Then LS Themo says, at Lava, perm to ban him. Then Halsey says, he keeps talking about having roleplay stuff, and he's 14 and has a server of NSFW stuff. And then attachment. Then Lava says, yes, wait, hold on. Do report him to Discord. Then somebody says, Cookie of God says, bold of you to assume we haven't. Then this is the hentai bot that Nathan was talking about. And this is a clear description of corn. So it's Daddy's little pet and then the S word. This is just, oh my God, this is just nasty. This is another hentai bot where it's Mr. Krabs, and it shows, it shows this person like being, this is just a regular bot, and it's the ban logs where it says, Mr. Krabs, please keep chat English. So they're banning people because they're not typing in English. Then somebody else bans another person, says underage, come back when you are 13 to 17. So they clearly know that they need to be at the very least age gating people in the Discord. And they knew people that were below 13 was inappropriate, yet that didn't stop them from spamming corn into the Discord. And to me, this definitely draws like some kind of parallel that this Discord that Ava ran was very much, or Ava owned, was very much like the FCK server in the art commentary community. You know, the FCK server was, it was a ton of art commentary people that were in a server together. There were minors at the time. The youngest was 12 years old. And porn was being spammed in the Discord by Toasty Vanilla. And you also had people like Miss Zizi asking for thigh pictures from minors. So it's absolutely giving me parallels. Beckett and I were talking about this the other day. Beckett also writes, in November 2019, the server was cleaned. It seems for anyone who actually cares about slurs, though I think it's a low-end issue, LOL, considering an admission of porn convos in general. I don't think Chris has said anything that hasn't been deleted. It's pretty bad. So then this chat reads, commence the cleaning of the Discord. Then Cookie of God says best to search oldest to newest so you don't see so many bot logs. Then Lava says, yeah, everything needs done. Then Nathan says, correct. Then Lava says, unless it's a bot log or something in rules, the server is going to be spotless and ready for partnership. Then Cookie of Gods sends a crab emoji. Then Nathan says, bot logs don't matter. Then Cookie says, bot logs I don't think have to follow an AA my internet. Then Shadow says, I don't think they would because that's how we can go back and check stuff. But it does show it was deleted. Then Cookie says, I think we should be fine if we purge every message Milk has sent. The R word was purged. If we have to purge the word gay, we may as well purge the entire server. Then Nathan says LMFAO. I think we can say gay, just not using it in an insulting way whatsoever. And then Cookie says, I mean, I've said it over 200 times, probably, just no homophobia. Yeah, okay. So it definitely shows how like Ava was definitely for sure a grifter when it came to stuff like this. You know, when Keffels was getting canceled, Ava had messaged Mutahar and put blame to Mutahar that they were receiving harassment online. And yet they're okay with using words like that behind the scenes. So it definitely, although Beckett may not care about this, it definitely does show that Ava was a grifter. Then the chat reads, by the way, I went and deleted every single time the N-word has been used, so that improves chances of partnership. A lot was said while it was a private server. Yes, we should do that with all banned words. Let us know before you delete any kind of meme shit because I want to archive it first. Then Cookie says, yeah, I didn't delete any of the images with it since I've just searched for it and some looking in really old messages. Nathan says, yikes. Then Cookie says, yeah, Milk said that a lot. I delete a few of them and a while back, but shrug. Then Nathan says, La MAO. I think they meant to say LMAO. Then Cookie says that's what I meant when the server won't get partnered. When the admins were saying stuff like that, it kind of looks bad to Discord. Then Nathan says, yeah, I'll go through and do a deep cleaning. Then Cookie says, since it's being advertised more, it would be really bad if someone were to find things and get shit on Chris. So they know the stuff that they were doing is bad. Then Nathan says, correct. I don't think Chris has said anything and that hasn't been deleted. Then Nathan says, hey guys, just a little PSA. Server got shouted, which means there are a lot of young people in the server. Let's try not to talk about porn and shit in general chat, even if it's messing around. Then Cookie says, K. Then Nathan says, at least just for a bit till they get filtered out, LOL. And Cookie says, yeah. So this is clear indication that they knew it was wrong. Then Beckett continues, Jesus, did they have a fucking open NSFW channel with minors in the server? Why is a minor having to point out Chris that they should delete this? What the fuck? So it's Brooke that says, so what's the point of deleted channel chat exactly? Then Ryan says, they may never know. Then Ryan also says, all right, so everyone knows Rhino has given everyone the member role and will now automatically give people that join role as well. I've also set up logs in deleted channel. Then somebody replies, Discount Milk replies to Brook Mom with the word porn. So porn was in that channel. And there's this one. And since you've joined, there's mysteriously been an NSFW channel. Just kidding. I have no idea who made it. Discount Milk says there's been a new NSFW channel since day one. Then Call Me Cloud says never used it before since Cornhub exists. Then Daddy Log says, yeah, but this time there's no traps, LMAO. Then Call Me Cloud says, oh my God. Then there's this chat. So Beckett's thread continues, and this is the tell. This is a real big tell from this. Beckett writes, update, short white train, cookie of gods, aged at the time 16, provided further screenshots from Chris's private server, also confirmed that Nate was there, 13. So Cookie was 16. And Nate was 13. So then Chris's private server, Chris's server. So apparently Ava had a private server. Discount Milk tweeted this picture, definitely inappropriate picture. Then Chris or Ava says sauce of the actual hentai. Then Halsey says yes. Then it continues. Discount Milk says, I'm a degenerate, so I'll find out. Then Cookie, at the time 16, says, thank you, Milk. Then Halsey says, I want a slime girl hentai. Then Discount Milk says, Watashi ni Tanashi ga Mia. I have no idea what that says. If I weren't driving, I would find you a timestamp. Well, I hardly consider moving 1 mile on I-40 or I-440 driving. And Halsey says, bro, you were texting me on I-440 the other day or 440. So confirmed this person was 16 years old. So it's confirmed that they were sending inappropriate images in the presence of at least a 16-year-old. Then the Reddit post continues. After some of these leaks were revealed, Lava conceded to the idea that the Discord was part of, or that he was part of, was highly inappropriate. So Lava writes, based on recent screenshots and messages, I would like to say a statement about the Discord. This was 5 or 6 years ago, and I thought I had a good memory of the situation, but I was wrong. After reading the chat logs, this stuff was inappropriate and wrong. I spoke based off of my memory of the situation, and I still do not remember these conversations, but they definitely happened. These conversations should have not happened with people at the time, or with people at the age I was at the time. I strongly condemn them. I still believe I'm not a grooming victim, but these conversations should have not happened with me or any other minor in the Discord. I was a minor in this situation and not the adult influencer who shouldn't have allowed this to happen. I did not see this wrong at the time. This is only related to the Discord server and not any other statements I have already made regarding Ava Tyson. Then the Reddit post continues. It should also be noted that Ava was also accused of SA. So, like, okay, this is why I don't. I. Why does why does why does the fact that they're trans even matter? So it's just say Ava is accused of SA. It's so simple, guys. Um, but we'll move on. In this thread above, a woman accuses Ava for SA providing a timeline of events and screenshots from Twitter as well as Snapchat. So, on July 27th, uh, Moose Moosie Mooskina tweets, I was essayed by Ava Tyson. Here's my story. For context, Ava and I are both adults and met each other as adults. Ava followed me on Twitter in November of 2022 after seeing my transition timelines on Twitter when I had under 500 followers. So this is DMs between them and Ava. And Ava says, you're an effing inspiration and you rock. Then they say, hey, you are too. Thanks so much. And they both give hearts. Then they also say, you look incredible. How long have you been on HRT? Then they say since like February. Thank you so much. We've started messaging each other every day through Twitter. She confided in me that she thought my results from HRT were amazing and that she was planning on getting HRT soon to transition herself. As someone who follows online culture, content, and streaming, I was overwhelmed by emotions with being trusted with the secret and with this secret and information that I knew would be huge news. As a transgender woman who publicly transitioned a month earlier, I genuinely could not believe something so amazing had happened in my life after I had been through so much. Eventually, we talked about me potentially working for Mr. Beast, and she told me that she was sure she could get me in a video. So this is Ava saying, also, just want to throw this out here. Please let me know if you guys are ever hiring. Or this is what Mooskina is saying to Ava. Also, just got to throw this out there. Please let me know if you guys are ever hiring for any type of work. I used to work as a floor manager at a #1 comedy club in Boston, so I'm comfortable around famous people / celebrities. I've worked mostly miserable jobs, sometimes working over 70 hours a week and still struggling to get by / transition. I've even worked as a chimney sweep, risking my life for $15 an hour. So I mean it when I say I will literally do anything you guys ask of me. I'm not sure where you guys are based out of nowadays, but I would drive there tonight for a job if asked. My number is blank if you ever want to reach out to me, and I have a resume available if you'd like me to send it over. Then Ava says, I will definitely keep you in mind. We do have videos where we need people to compete. So if you don't mind sitting in a circle or something, I'm sure we could figure something out. LMAO. Then this person writes, she was the most famous person to ever show me that type of attention, and she immediately started love bombing me and making me feel like the most important person in her life. Within the first few weeks of us talking, she told me that she told her therapist about the positive. or the positive impact I was making on her life, and that she had told her friends about me and very quickly moved our conversation to Snapchat. So let's see what these say. Um, I'm pretty familiar with your guys' content. Haha. I definitely wouldn't mind sitting in a circle, but surely you guys must be doing a lot crazier stuff than nowadays. Either way, thanks so much for keeping me in mind, and always feel free to reach out. Also, if you get a lot of hairline um back on your HRT, uh they don't tell you that when you get on it. Um and someone says, I don't know how the channel is ever going to top Squid Game's video. That was nuts. Then they say, and you can add me on Snapchat. So they were added on Snapchat. So then the thread continues. While I was under the impression that she was working on getting me in a video, we started having video chats on Discord. Ava asked me to masturbate with her on a video call multiple times, and I always felt like I had to say yes if I wanted to be in a video or get a job. So that's definitely a power dynamic that is being described here, and it's also quid pro quo, kind of coercion. So very interesting that they say this. I kind of believe this person. Well, not kind of, but I believe this person. They also write, on one occasion, she asked me to join a video call and asked me to masturbate, even though she knew I wasn't feeling well, which led me to joining her, then puking after a few minutes. Our conversations always leaned in the direction of affectionate and sexual, and she sent me a lot of sexually explicit Snapchats, messages, photos, and videos. Our relationship was very confusing to me. I didn't fully realize I was being coerced at the time. Yeah, I mean, this not realizing that you're being coerced is that's not new. Typically, that does happen, and it's pretty sad. Uh, it's pretty sad for this person to realize that this was the kind of thing that was happening to them. I definitely feel for them. She eventually flew me out to her home in Greenville with a one-way ticket while I was still under the impression that she would be getting me in a video with Mr. Beast. That first night at her house, she told me to set up in her bedroom as I would be sleeping in there with her. I thought this was potentially the beginning of a relationship. When we went to bed together that night, we ended up cuddling and kissing, which led to her taking her clothes off and asking for oral sex from me. I went down on her, expecting to engage in sex that would be reciprocated, but then I was done. She made it clear that she did not want to return any sexual favors to me. I was hoping that that would not be the case the next time we hooked up, and I believed that we would be moving to something more mutual. Over the course of the next week, Ava engaged me sexually and ended up receiving oral pleasure several times, but she never reciprocated any sexual favors in return when I was done. I was too scared discreetly, or I was too scared to directly ask for anything in return, and she took advantage of it. The day she first posted publicly that she was on HRT was also the first week I was there. After making her post, Jimmy called her later that night while Ava was receiving oral sex on me. She answered the phone and had the conversation with Jimmy while I continued. Wow, this is, oh my God. While I continued to perform oral on her, I was again now given access to private information, which made me feel special, something that happened consistently throughout our relationship. Um, After almost a week, I was starting to feel really used and confused about everything. While I was there, I found out through a conversation between Ava, myself, and her friend that she did not have the ability to cast anyone in a Mr. Beast video. So they were tricked into being flown down there. Um, I I eventually asked Ava to buy me a ticket home and flew home the next day, leaving Ava's house. Leaving Ava's house was incredibly difficult to process emotionally after that week. I remember trying to hold myself together while traveling so that I wouldn't break down in public. When I got home, I spent the rest of the night crying uncontrollably without fully understanding what happened to me. Ava and I remained in contact, but she did not show me the same level of attention and affection she did before I spent a week with her. This was the first time we went through a cycle of her love bombing me, using me, falling for someone else, treating me like I'm annoying, jealous ex, and then coming back when things didn't work out. Shortly after the first week, she went on a work trip to Japan and invited someone else, but things did not turn out the way she expected. She was upset and flew back early from her trip. She offered me a job as her assistant and offered me to move in with her. I quit my job that month and moved in with her on June 16th and began working that day. I'm supposed to start with a 2-week trial. So then these are texts, and it's Ava Tyson. Then Ava says, yes, he should be. Then this person says, word, I'm just going to message him when I'm boarding my flight. Thanks again for everything. I really appreciate you, heart. Then Ava says, I really, really appreciate you too. Look forward to working together with you. And this was June 16th. During this trial period and my employment, Ava continued to receive oral sex from me multiple times. Okay, I'm going to pause right there because as a professional, never in my life would I ever think about even like remotely even sleeping with one of my employees. The fact that this kind of environment, or this is the kind of environment that Ava would welcome, especially when acting in business situations, is just, it's unprofessional. It's insane. I just can't believe this person would go through this. I'm just shocked on so many levels, because as a manager or as like even a boss, you owe like some kind of duty of care to your employees, and it seems like Ava just didn't. Just didn't care at all, or just continued to act inappropriately or unprofessional. This is on so many levels of no. This is crazy. I would never act this way. Yeah, I'm perplexed. Ava continued to receive oral sex from me multiple times, and I started to feel like I was being coerced. Because I started to feel that way, or because I started feeling that way, I decided to try and avoid any physical engagement between Ava and I that could lead war. One-sided sexual acts. I took a short trip to my home state at the end of July and returned July 28th. When I got back, I continued to do my best to avoid anything physically sexual between Ava and I. On July 29th, we were watching TV together alone in her living room with no warning prior physical engagement or sexual conversation. She took off her pants and started touching herself in front of me. I had just moved in with Ava and left my job to come work as her assistant. In no way, shape, or form did I feel like I could say no without risking my job or being asked to leave. Again, that's the power dynamic. The fact that this is just insane. This is wow. The fact that they thought they had to perform these kind of acts or they would be at risk of losing their job is just a wow. It's just you like I don't even know what to say. Like I want to stress to people, if you ever feel that way towards your boss, or if you're ever put in that situation, please immediately go to HR and report it. If you lose your job, you lose your job. At least you're reporting it to HR or you're reporting it to a higher up. If they do fire you based off of that and they don't investigate, you can definitely sue them. You can sue them and win in court. I'm telling you. This is so sad to hear this. That they didn't know what to do. Because they thought they were risking their job, so they just did it. This is so sad. She used that against me in order to receive non-consensual oral sex. This was the time that truly broke for me for the first time. Nothing was enjoyable. I felt like it would never end, and my entire body just hurt from performing the act. It took me a few days to fully accept what happened. Unfortunately, I was dealing with all of these emotions while on a work trip, traveling the country and spending most of my time with people I had just met. The trip itself was very isolating as an employee, and there were several times where I broke down crying. I was on a 3-hour car trip to the airport with 3 people I had just met, and I spent an entire drive crying and trying to be quiet as possible so that I didn't bother anyone. Oh my gosh. I hurt for this person. I then had to wait to board for an overnight flight from Boston to Los Angeles. When I boarded the plane, I decided to send Ava a message on Telegram, sharing my concerns with her. I tried to do so carefully and navigate a conversation in a way that would stop me from being sexually assaulted again, but allow me to keep my job. Ava was very manipulative in her response and follow-up conversations we had in person once we had gotten our hotels. So this is a message between Ava and Jess. Jess says, "Can we talk when we get to Cali? I've been put in a lot of uncomfortable situations and I haven't really felt comfortable bringing it up. I know we've hooked up in the past before. I've started working with you, but now I feel pressure and it just makes me feel uncomfortable. The last few times it happened left me feeling empty and used, and that it wasn't your intention, but it hurts me that I feel like I'm an object around the house that can just be used. All the misgendering / dead naming and isolation I've experienced in the trip is kind of pushing me to a breaking point. I've been quietly staring at a corner and bawling my eyes out since we last left that last house, and I just need something to change just so I don't feel like this anymore." Jess also writes, "They just sent me out to LA hotel info and my dead name is in parentheses next to mine, but yours isn't, so I don't get why mine is." Then Ava says, "Wait, if you're talking about the other day, to be clear, this has been my feelings since we've started a professional relationship along with our friendship. I don't want anything sexual with each other, or I don't want to do anything sexual with each other. That is a dynamic that can be misconstrued and unethical for me. So they even know it's unethical. Um, yeah, they even knew it was unethical. Uh, and that still didn't prevent them from doing it or from not doing it. It's I mean, this is like a reoccurring theme where Ava knows like these types of behaviors are wrong. Acting inappropriately in Discord with minors is wrong. Not age vetting in Discord is wrong, but they still do it. Or um, having a power dynamic with somebody or having an inappropriate relationship with one of your employees is unethical, but they still did it. It's just wow, it's just a lot to unpack. I have a thing, and then Ava also continues to write. I have a thing where I didn't respect my body. Like today, the person told me he wanted to use my body. I didn't want to at the time, but I didn't want him to be upset or mad with me, so I let him. That is what happened the other day. I guess I should have asked you to stop, but it just kind of felt, or it just kind of happened, so just let it. Also, about the dead naming, I have no clue why it has happened, but I would love to talk to Blank with you about how to make this not happen again. I think you should also talk to Blank. He can reassure you that this is a hectic shoot and they don't really know what they're doing with the PAs. They drop the ball constantly, and B, it happens to a lot of people. I'm sorry. If this isn't working for you, though, I completely understand and we can rethink things and I can work with you and make sure you're happy. You're an important person to me. I want to be your friend. And if the work relationship causes stress to that, I'd rather focus on our friendship. Then Ava also says, I'd love to talk in person. Then Jess writes, I definitely still want you or want to work for you, and our friendship is really important to me too. So I don't want to lose that either. My emotions definitely just all added up and it hit me like a brick on a car ride here. And I just felt so embarrassed that I couldn't stop crying over it. Also, I don't mind it being hectic ever. The dead naming and misgendering, that makes me feel like there's just little respect for me as a human. In terms of being openly sexual with my friends and slash colleagues, that's something I'm always down for. Okay. But the way our friendship has developed between each other sexually is incredibly one-sided, and it just makes me feel used and uncomfortable. This is not your fault, though. This is the way things develop between us, and I had let that happen. I would really like to talk about this in person. Sorry I sent you that long message. I love you. Then Ava says, I love you too. I don't know if I'll sleep tonight. So come by when you get here. Then Jess says, where are you? So then this person writes, we agreed not to have sex anymore. If that's how I felt about what happened. For several months, we did not engage explicitly in sexual acts, but we did continue to engage in physical or in physically sexual acts like cuddling, groping, hand holding, and sleeping in the same bed, and sexual conversations / texts. So this is like pictures. Jess says, I want to tweet these thoughts. Then Ava says, hot. God, so hot. So fuck worthy. Mommy, even. Then Jess says, okay, thank you. I needed that confidence. Then these are pictures. You're so cute, and it's Ava. Then this is another picture of Ava in the bathroom that says, how about now? And showing like their thigh. For the next year, Ava towed the line with me between what was and what wasn't an appropriate relationship with our power dynamic. This led to me having mixed feelings and receiving mixed signals from Ava on how she viewed me. She was able to manipulate me very easily with the power she had over me, which led to a cycle of her love bombing me, using me, falling for someone else, treating me like I'm an annoying, jealous ex, then coming back when things didn't work out with multiple people. We did eventually hook up one or more time during the week in December, which I was super emotional because of my cat of 12 years that I had brought with me to North Carolina was dying of cancer. I was spending a lot of time with my cat that week and monitoring her breathing rate, and she seemed okay, but then she passed away in her sleep before I expected it. I found her curled up in a corner, showing no signs of life. I realized what had happened, and I had sat down, picked her up in my arms, and started crying uncontrollably. It was very late, around 1 a.m., and Ava heard me, so she came in and checked on me and realized what happened. I was hysterical and couldn't really speak clearly, gather my thoughts properly. She stayed up with me for about 1 hour, at which point I told her that I was going to take my cat to the vet in the morning so that they could prepare her body for cremation. After an hour, Ava told me that she didn't know if I wanted her to stay or not, so she was going to go downstairs and go to sleep. I stayed alone with my cat until 7 a.m. and then took her to the vet by myself while I was still crying uncontrollably. This led to a lot of fights between Ava and I that week, in which she continued to gaslight, manipulate me into thinking I was the problem and it was my fault that I was feeling used. Whenever I became emotional or I had an issue with Ava, she was treating me, it was always turned around on me. And I was made to believe that if I didn't stop acting that way or prove that I was okay with everything, that I should move out and not be her assistant anymore. This cycle kept happening until after Easter of 2024, when Ava traveled with me to spend Easter with my family. We then spent the weekend together in Boston in a hotel while I showed her around the city. At this point, we were very, very close emotionally, and I had told Ava how I felt or how I was feeling about us, and I wanted to have a conversation about us. I told her that I would already felt like we were in a relationship, and she agreed. I told her that the feelings I had for her were like that of a partner, and that she felt the same way about me. She had told me that traveling with me for Easter did something for her, and I believe we had something special moving forward. A few days after Easter, she had planned to travel to LA to visit a friend that she was talking to and interested in sexually. I told her this wasn't a problem for me, and that what I wanted for us was an open relationship anyways. She wasn't ready to officially call us partners at this point, but she assured me that this person wasn't looking for anything serious, and she didn't even know if they were going to hook up. She ended up hooking up with this person the first night and was calling them her boyfriend by the end of the week, and they were officially in a relationship. I had a huge problem with the way this all played out, and I wanted some clarification from Ava on what what she and I were. This led to a lot of fights, which led to me moving out in the beginning of June because of how bad my mental health was with everything going on between us. So this is a conversation between Jess and Ava. So then the text read, like it looks like it appeared in Discord. And Jess says, "Get off the phone with your boyfriend, nerd. You're coming over next week, right? I remember when I used to be important to you." When they write sad face emoji, and then 2 weeks ago in parentheses. And then Ava says, "You're not unimportant to me. I wish you would say things like that to me. It makes me insecure." Or I wish you wouldn't say things like that to me. It makes me insecure. Um, then Jess says, "I'm trying not to make you insecure, but sometimes I get insecure and feel that way myself." Then Jess says, "You become more distant, and I treated differently every time you fall for someone new, and that's really hard for me to deal with based on the nature of our relationship and considering I gave up everything to move down with you and be your BF/assistant. You'll become enamored with your new partner that you'll start looking for ways to get rid of me so that you can spend all your time with them." Then Ava says, "I think you're insecure about this because of the blank thing. Because I've texted and called as much as I can. I played Elden Ring yesterday and spent all day with Chief and then did therapy, so I didn't look at my phone that much. I didn't even start talking to him until after my therapy appointment. He was asleep. It's super frustrating how every time I try to be happy, I have to be careful not to be too happy or you will start saying stuff like this. It almost feels like you're the one pushing me away because your own feelings, because I've not changed how I treat you at all. I don't know how to handle this situation. I legit have an anxiety that I didn't text whichever app you messaged me on. You'll get mad at me. The anxiety I feel about this situation reminds me of whenever I would get mad at me while I was at work and say I was choosing work over her. I'm not choosing anything over you. You're my friend, and I just wish you could be happy for me after everything I've done for you. Not even just monetary stuff. I've held you while you cried, went with you, went with you to meet your family. Like I didn't do that for any reason other than it meant a lot to you. I don't know. To be honest, I would have just acted like nothing changed. I would have loved you to be around, but I genuinely don't think it's a good idea for you to be around blank now. Um I don't know where to go from here because I understand you may feel this way, but I've gone out of my way to try and make you feel included. So I'm genuinely at a loss for what to do." Then Jess says, "It's not that it's not that you're too happy or that I'm not too happy for you. It's not about not replying to my messages you don't see. I don't want to push you away, but I did want to make sure that you understood my feelings and what I'm going through emotionally because it hadn't been too easy for me. And I've been so full of anxiety. Part of it is the blank thing and having, then the message is cut off right there. Um, then it can and having some trauma from that, but I think it's more I have such strong feelings for you, which creates needs. Usually those needs are met and they go beyond just being included. It hurts to feel that something I've consistently given and then taken away, and it's painful. It made me just so happy that you were able to be there for me in times when I have cried and come to visit my family. But I thought, did you, but I thought you did those things because you wanted to, and that's just what friends do. I really thought we were something more than friends, and I'm trying to find a way to deal with that. I love you so much, but I don't want you to think that you can't bring me around people like blank now, because I honestly like him, but I'm just scared of losing whatever it is we have. I don't really know what to do, where to go from here either. I just know I care about you a whole lot. I know the way I am acting is me taking a huge risk, but I could just let feelings fester while I just sit here and recover. Then Jess also adds, I've also spent countless nights staying up with you to make sure you're okay, and have held you in my arms while you've cried and bled all over me. And all the times I put myself in uncomfortable situations to be there for you and try to make you sure you know that money means nothing to me compared to your friendship, or by buying my share of food for us and gifts. It's really hard to just move on from all that stuff in such a short span. Like, I get we will meet other people and move on and play different roles in each other's lives at some point. It just hurts a lot to feel like it's going to happen so fast. If you want to call and talk, that's fine. If you want to take some space and talk when I get back, that's fine too. Then Jess continues, don't feel any pressure to call. I've thought about it and I realized I am the one who just needs to take some space and process. You've done nothing wrong and have been an amazing friend, and I'm sorry that I've made you feel any differently. I'll still manage you for schedule and work stuff. That's fine, but I think taking a break from the emotional stuff for me and just letting you be happy with blank without worrying about me is best. So then Jess continues to write, when I moved out, we had an agreement that I would help, or that I would keep my job as a hybrid travel / remote WFH position. I have no idea what WFH stands for. Work for hire position. When then they write, when I reached out to Ava after moving out to discuss my schedule for the rest of the month, she informed me that she was already working on replacing me. So the text reads, I'll be on the road, so feel free to call if there's anything else you want to give or you want to have done or just want to talk. I know we didn't get too much about me moving out, so if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. Then on June 8th, I'm planning on flying back June 16th and staying there until July 2nd, if that's cool with you. I was planning on spending at least half a month in North Carolina working and helping you out moving forward, but also do scheduling, managing, pay bills, etc. while I'm in Massachusetts. Then Ava writes, I'm probably going to let blank continue working with me until I can get the divorce settled, and then I'm going to try and look into getting an executive assistant who can be here with me and focus solely on improving my mental health, creating channels to make getting back into work easier and more streamlined, and connecting with people at Beast by being on location to make sure I'm getting things on schedule when they happen. I want to help you, but the company isn't going to let me have two EAs, and I need someone to be accountable for me and know you have your stuff. We can talk about it more when I get back. Then Jess says, that's fine. So I should not book the flight and come back. I just want to clarify if this is me being let go or if I'm being changed to a different position so I can plan accordingly. Then they say, I completely understand your reasoning, by the way. I need to be able to focus on my own mental health so I can focus on someone else as my job. It just isn't healthy for me, so I think you deserve someone who will feel more comfortable working with the company. Then Ava writes, I think if Boston is where you feel like you're going to be mentally the most healthy, I want that for you. But I'm about to get back into the channel, and I need someone to steer me in the right direction. I took this at kind of you resigning. This isn't really a mobile position. I'm going to talk to James about getting everything done properly. I don't want you to. Then the text continues. I'm going to talk to James about getting everything done properly. I don't want you to feel like I'm firing you because I really took the abrupt move as you resigning. Then Jess says, no, I don't feel like you're firing me, and I'm okay with moving away from the position. I clearly was uncomfortable after everything that had happened between us over the course of the last year. I definitely wish some things were handled differently, but it is what it is. I do genuinely feel like my ability to do my job was being affected, so it's nice to be out of the situation. I did expect to keep the job because we had talked in person when we were both there last week. I thought we had agreed to that me moving to Boston at some point and splitting my time between there and NC would be okay, and I could help keep the job. So I hope we can work something out where I can move away from the job comfortably. Then on the 9th, Jess continues, hey, can you let me know if when someone will reach out to me about my current status as an employee, because I have to update my income with Massachusetts properly to avoid any loss of coverage. So it looks like this is concerning because it looks like Ava was using company resources from Mr. Beast to hire this person. And if this person took on an income and they were SA'd by Ava while being a official employee from Mr. Beast, like this could be a very big nightmare for Mr. Beast, because this would be an official employee reporting that they were SA'd by their boss. This is pretty bad, like really bad. So it'll be interesting to see how this internal investigation plays out, or what happens from this. But I really think Ava should respond to this. This is absolutely insane. These are serious allegations right here. And this text alone says a lot. Then Jess continues, I felt forced out of my position and made it clear to her that I wasn't comfortable with the way things went down, and she didn't answer my concerns. I kept in contact with her and remained friendly while I navigated my departure from the company. So, oh my God, she was officially part of the company. This this is a pretty big situation for Mr. Beast because this is a person claiming that they were SA'd by their boss. And this is just Ava just using her power within that company to hire somebody and take advantage of them and just have a very inappropriate relationship with them in the workplace is just absolute insanity to me. That's like a big number one uh bad business move to ever make at all. This is like Vince McMahon kind of stuff, only Jess wasn't trafficked off to other people. It's the inappropriate relationship between manager or employer and employee. Yeah, I mean, this is a really big liability. Then Jess continues, keeping the company updated and that someone would talk to me about my severance and leaving the company in June. When this didn't happen, I asked Ava for another update on my employment. I was eventually given the correct contact information for HR. So Ava, let's see if Ava sends the HR information. So on June 9th, they send the text, hey, let me know. And we already read it. Then on June 10th, Jess writes, hey, I hope you didn't take my messages the wrong way. I didn't expect to lose this job when I moved. So I'm in a bit of a financial pickle. I need to find out my employment status as listed with the company and when I'll get my last paycheck as soon as I can. My health insurance is due soon and I'll have an update my income after my last paycheck to avoid any loss or coverage. I also want it noted that like when you exit a company, it's a very formal process. So especially if you're exiting a Fortune 500 company, like a big company like Mr. Beast. With the company that I work for, they definitely take people getting terminated or even quitting and leaving and resigning seriously. Like we even do exit interviews. There's always a package in place when people are fired, so they're not suffering. Like the company I work for, they keep they like if you get laid off, you get a severance package, and then for like a few months afterwards, I think it's like about 6 months after you're terminated from the company, you keep on your insurance. And then when the 6 months is done, that's when you have to take on new insurance. And it's a very formal process. And the fact that this is completely informal and it's just contacting Ava and then Ava just passing out information to HR is just insane. I mean, the first step with letting somebody go is having contact with your legal team to make sure you're not breaking any laws by firing the person, but to also relay any kind of information that they need to make sure that they keep either their benefits going for a certain amount of time or that they have some kind of employment verification letter that they could have written. So it makes the job search process much easier on them. So this is just crazy. And the fact that Jess is also saying I'm in a bit of financial pickle. That's a tell too. I need to find out my employment status as listed with the company and when I'll get my last paycheck as soon as I can. My health insurance is due soon and I'll have to update my income after my last paycheck to avoid any loss of coverage. I already have a good job lined up. Oh, thank God they had a job lined up. But I was going to see if I could get any financial help until I'm able to start that job. Also, I'm planning on taking care of my car when I come back. So I have to get that taken care of. Ava says you're still employed, and I still haven't talked to anyone about it yet. So, oh my gosh, this is just so. The person was like Ava took it as a person resigning, right? And Jess took it as she was being. And then Ava took it as Jess resigning. But then Ava then goes and is like, oh, well, I still haven't told anyone that you're gone. And it's like, what are you doing, lady? What are you doing? You're supposed to be letting your HR know. You're supposed to be letting the legal department know that you fired someone. This is so unprofessional. Ava says, you're still employed and I haven't talked to anyone about it yet, but I'll keep you up to date on the process. Sorry, I was just trying to put up with anything aside that would stress me until I got back from the trip. So, oh my God. So they, like Ava just completely just thinks about themselves and is just like, oh yeah, I don't want to. I want to put stuff aside that stresses me out until I get back from the trip. That's so narcissistic. Jess says, that's fair. I hope you enjoyed your trip. That's horrible. I feel bad for Jess. Jess also says, hey, or on June 11th, they also say, hey, do you still want me to take care of this stuff for you now? I just wasn't sure because I keep seeing stuff in the group chat and I'm not sure if you're expecting me to help or not. I'm happy to continue to help with whatever you need, but I didn't want to overstep either. And then Ava says, it's just where I'm used to sending things by default between us. James is going to use company leverage to get me someone who can basically pick my life up and help me get it back moving. Oh, wow. Until I begin the process, you will be on pay, and I will discuss with James making sure you're taken care of since it's to help your mental health. I'm going to push for them to give you a severance. I mean, she should have had severance for this person a long time ago. Also, if you find any way, and the fact that they're saying severance in the first place is telling right there. It's letting people know that, hey, Jess didn't resign. Ava fired this person. Because you don't get a severance if you resign. You only get a severance if you're fired. So this person was terminated. Also, if you find any companies in the area you think you can get, or we can get you a referral to, the Mr. Beast thingy works great. Also, I want you to come visit me often because I love you, Jess. You will always be my sister. So then the text continues of, hey, so Jess writes, hey, so I'm working with blank to get my car started and sold, but it's pretty clear that it's going to take a few weeks. That puts me in a hard spot because I really need a vehicle with my current living situation, or I need to move out. And I'm also not sure what the details are for my severance or when my last paycheck will be, which makes it very difficult to move forward with purchasing a vehicle or moving out. I did not know if you may be interested in purchasing my car, so I can give you the title and we can just have blank sell it, making the process much faster and easier for me. I was planning on selling the car for around $3,000 since I paid $5,000 for it. I understand if you don't want to do this. Also, was hoping to get some clear information in writing from someone of what my severance will be and when when I'll be getting it because that money would help me greatly in my current situation. Then Ava says, have they not contacted you yet? Then Jess says, yeah, no, I haven't heard anything from anyone. I'm pretty sure they haven't said anything to E either. Then Ava says, okay, I'll talk to Blink. Then Jess says, is her email Blink? Just wanted to look out for her email or just reach out so she has my best contact info. Then Jess writes, I continued to, before I talked to HR, Ava found out that I talked about her sexual or SAing me, and that I was planning on reporting her. Her reply to send one message and then block me on everything. So July 4th, yes, let me send her a message. Wait, whoops, July 5th. She misunderstood me when I told her to hold off on Blink. She would be contacting you. Sorry for the hold up. Then on July 7th, wow, Jess. I've learned that Ava told them I had decided to resign on my own free will, and first they heard me leaving was that first week of July. So Ava admits to saying severance, or there's clear indication that Ava understands that this person was terminated because they used the legal term severance, right? So it brings the idea that the person has been terminated, not resigned. And then Ava lies to HR and is like, no, they resigned. This is crazy. I was informed. I informed them that I was actually going on with my resignation, and it became pretty clear that Ava had not been forthcoming with them about anything that transpired between us during the course of my employment. A few days later, I told them enough about what happened between Ava and I, which led Mr. Beast to launch the third-party investigation into the matter. So now there's an HR concern. Now there's an investigation. So this is where the third-party investigation happened. I provided them with evidence of chat logs, screenshots, and gave them a list of witnesses in the company who had seen Ava and I physical together. That was over 2 weeks ago, and in that time, I've not heard back from anything despite asking for an update twice. Okay, so I'm going to pause right here and say, Jess, although you are part of the investigation, the internal investigation, a company is not obligated to tell you what the results of that investigation are, especially being a former employee of Mr. Beast. It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in, but that's the way that the cookie crumbles. They're not legally obligated to tell you, unfortunately. Although it would be the nice thing to provide an update. During this time period, the allegations against Ava for inappropriately talking to minors and more details of her relationship with Shadman became public. Seeing all of this come out and happen has put me in a uniquely uncomfortable position. I knew she had a troubled past, but I thought it never went to the past attack helicopter jokes like liking edgy artists. I wasn't super online when Shadman was popular. So I knew very little about him and did not know Ava was associated with someone who sold drawings as CP. So again, the picture that they're referencing is a picture that occurred between, or that Shadman drew, of Keemstar's daughter doing a sexual act on Donald Trump. It was already extremely difficult to navigate moving on from being SA'd and being taken advantage of by someone I cared about and who had immense amount of power over me. Seeing everything this week has been extremely stressful, and I have been it has been equally difficult to see people respond in bad faith with transphobia as it has been to see people blindly defend Ava and disregard evidence because she is transgender. And I feel like the only way for me to move forward with my life is to talk publicly about what happened. I do not want hush money, and I do not want clout. I just want to be able to move on with my life and close this chapter. This is so tough. I feel so bad for this person. I'm so tempted to reach out to this person and just and give some kind of advice to them. I think so. Beckett yesterday had a great live stream going over the Discord logs, but and I suggest going and watching Beckett's live stream because it's a more in-depth deep dive into what happened in the Discord. But this is what was concluded from Beckett's live stream. Now, any of this information is not confirmed, but this is how Beckett was able to figure things out. Okay, so we're still waiting for confirmation of these actual ages. But some math was done by Beckett, and this is what Beckett concluded. The list of people who appear to state that they were minors in the general server, and it was from June 17th or June 2nd of 2017 to February 11th of 2019. I am Aaron, 15, Dirk, 16, Lave or Lav, 14 to 16, Cookie is confirmed, 16, Nate, 15 to 16. I think it was confirmed that Nate was 13 actually. Shade, 15, Bean, 14, deleted user, so unknown, 15. It's Hayden, 15. States made mod for making hentai bot at 14. So these are logs that were written within the server. So it's a definitive statement that was being made by Hayden. Drop hearts, unknown. To be completely honest, I'm just a young kid old enough for Discord. So that was the direct quote that they had in the Discord. Hobo Joe, 13, maybe a joke. KY Heart states 11 as age, unlikely as would have been kicked from the server rules or server by server rules. So the rules was that you had to be 13 years old. Anything younger than 13 was an automatic ban. Delete user or deleted user 13. Again, that person's unknown. Around server being pushed by Chris. Jesus Christ 14 seems to be contributing to convo on ages. Daddy log 17. Difficult to tell from logs, but suggested the age was 17. Double waffle 14. Damakin 15. Firewolf 17. It's just Lee 14. 14. Rays 14. Fishback or fish chick, by the way, 13. Llama 15. Stan user 13 to 15-ish. Chat was deeply unhelpful on what grades are which age. So the chat was trolling Becca yesterday. Sin King 13 to 15-ish. Staff minors. So these were mods that were minors. Cookie 16. Nate 15 to 16. Again, Nate says that they were 13 themselves. Lava 15 to 16. Shade 15. It's Hayden. States made mod for making hentai bot at 14. Matthias, possibly a minor, currently unconfirmed. Trail Mix 16 to 17. So these were the ages of some of the minors in the Discord. Now, what we know for a fact that happened in the Discord was that there was a hentai bot that was spamming corn within the Discord. It has been said by multiple people within that Discord, and you can see it in the logs as well. And It's Hayden is also confirming that they made the bot and made mod because of it, and they were 14 at the time of making that bot. So my take on this is that why are you running a Discord or owning a Discord when it's ran by minors? It's just, I'm curious why Ava thought it was even appropriate to do that. So yes, I'm going to link Beckett's live stream in the description. I highly suggest going. It's a long live stream, but I highly suggest going to his channel and watching the full live stream because it goes in depth of what was being said. There's also it's unconfirmed whether Mr. Beast participated in the Discord. People are saying that he did participate in the Discord and that Mr. Beast was in there making comments about Ava's penis size, which would be a very big no-no in my book, and super irresponsible on the end of Mr. Beast. So now it's kind of turning light where Mr. Beast was somewhat involved in the Discord. Since then, people have been posting examples of inappropriate behavior from Ava and other individuals in the server. So let's look at example 1. So this is Ava writing, "Are there any big boys in the chat?" Then Nathan says, "Hi, Dad, yes." Then Avery Lover says, "I'm a big boy." Then Shadow says, "Rethink your words, Nate." Then Ava says, "Ooh, ooh." Then Nathan says, "Chris, I'm gonna be dad, not a joke." Then there's another chat where it's Ava, "Buy my feet pics," and then an attachment. I'm assuming this is like something with feet or whatever. Then Chirp says that's illegal. And then Halsey, whom of which is a minor, by the way, says, "Does anyone want a wholesome moment?" I have no idea what Halsey is finishing right there. Then Cookie sends a picture. Then Halsey says, "Oh no." Then ShmooBen says, "No, Chris." Then Chris sends another picture. Then Yellow Rice says, "Brah, who the fuck are y'all posting pics?" PCIS pics. I have no idea. Then Halsey, again, minor, says, "Oh, wait, it's hentai, never mind." And then another example is Lava Lava message to Ava, "God, you have a massive penis." So this is Lava saying this to Chris or Ava. Then this is the comment where Mr. Beast says a very inappropriate comment. So it says, "Updated picture of Mr. Beast, inappropriate comment on Ava's penis in front of Hayden, who is a minor, a 15-year-old." Again, confirmed Hayden is a minor. And the comment is, so Chris or Ava starts, "You're black." Then mom says, "No, he's not. His penis is not big enough. I know." Then Mr. Beast says, "No, I know his penis size and it's huge." Then Hayden says, "Beast, are you gay?" That moment, you deep throat a whole cock. So this is a minor right here. Mr. Beast is saying that. Then mom says, I'll deep throat Ava dick." Then Ava says, "Ha ha." Mr. Beast joins in to comment on my penis size. "I love it." So again, this is the sticky note that Beckett made. Here's this one as well. "It only took 10 minutes to find incriminating messages from Discord or from the Discord messages. It's over for her. Ava Kris Tyson is done." So this is Ava posting a picture. And then the picture is, "One more year until I can finally F my PS2. HB video games. The PlayStation 2 is 17 years old today." So, Jesus. Then Ava says, "I like my PlayStations around 13 years old." So, yikes. I would not be saying this. This is absolutely inappropriate. And that brings us to current day. One last thing I wanted to pin here was Finster's response, as Finster was close to Ava. So here we are. Please provide any updates to the story here. If anything major occurs that you believe deserves a standalone post, please message the mods. Thanks, guys. So there is a video floating around of Mr. Beast having the poster in question float around. Before we look, so here's the video, and Chud Logic writes, before we play the video, I want you to listen to what Chud says. So Chud says, "Saw this clip on YouTube Drama. Mr. Beast is talking about Chris having moved out and appears to still have the Shadman art up on the wall. Not sure if the source not sure of the source of this video, but it's a pretty bad lick, especially when you consider that the original video, pizza delivery one, was edited to remove the portion that showed the poster on the wall." So this is the Shadman art right here, and this is the clear video, clear as day video.
I just don't want to do it. And also, Chris, my roommate, moved out, so that doesn't really help either. So I just don't want to do it. And
I mean, it doesn't look fake at all either. Like, this looks pretty legit. I'd be very surprised if this came back and people were like, "No, this is actually fake." I don't think that's fake at all. It's absolutely insane. You know, people are owed answer. This is my final thoughts on it. And guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But my final take on this is people are owed answers. You know, Mr. Beast can't just come back and be like, "Oh yeah, we're doing an internal investigation," and saying, "Oh yeah, we fired Kris Tyson or Ava Tyson. She's not around the company anymore." You know, the stuff that happened with Jesse, it's pretty serious. That could open Mr. Beast up to lawsuits. And to see that this painting right here, or this little clip of the video right here with the painting in question, hanging on the back of the wall, it makes me wonder what Mr. Beast was also thinking in this, and if Mr. Beast had a play in this as well. You know, he made that one comment about Ava's penis size or dick size in the Discord, and a 15-year-old was present in that conversation. So there's starting to look. It's starting to look like there's primary evidence out there of some kind of negligence on Mr. Beast's and it'll be interesting to it'll be interesting to see how these few weeks play out. This is a pretty serious situation, so I'll make sure I keep you guys updated. Comment below on what you guys think about this whole situation. Love you guys.